On City TV, coming to you live from our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, Accra. My name is Philip Ni Latte. Coming up. Bank of Ghana denies exaggeration of new headquarters costs amid procurement allegations.
It is not just a simple, ordinary building. Let me re-emphasize that the bank followed all the necessary public procurement processes in this endeavor. No procurement laws were broken.
Ministry of Lands orders removal of Guru Boys following UN corruption study.
We are taxing the Lands Commission to get rid of those Guru Boys and the Guru people in the system. Not work in isolation.
And investigators tend to Telcom data in alleged bullion van robbery case involving military officers and civilians.
File motion ex parte to the telcos, asking them to make some provisions or disclosures involving the telephone numbers of the accused persons.
Later on, CNR Extra Chief of Staff Rema Osei-Opare cleared to vote in NPP Special Delegates Congress amidst eligibility debate.
Honorable Akosua Rema Osei-Opare is a member of the National Executive Committee by the virtue of being a representative of the patrons at the National Executive Committee.
Once again, you're welcome to CNR Extra here on City TV. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comment via WhatsApp line 0204447033. We're also streaming live on YouTube. You can join us there on. Let's bring you the very first story, and that has to do with the Bank of Ghana. It's denying the exaggeration of the new headquarters or head office costs amidst procurement allegations. Let's bring you that insight.
It has refuted allegations claiming that the cost of its new head office under construction in Ridge of the Greater Accra region has been exaggerated and that the institution disregarded public procurement regulations in awarding the contract. Now, these assertions come amid public and political scrutiny with concerns raised about the appropriateness of the project's timing, given the central bank's attempt to recover from a substantial loss resulting from the government's domestic debt exchange program. Now, the bank, however, during a media briefing on Monday, countered these allegations, affirming its commitment to transparency in all its processes.
Criticism of the Bank of Ghana escalated when it justified relocating from its current central business district location in Accra to Ridge, citing earthquake threat. The bank cited structural tests indicating that its current building wasn't suitable. The minority in Parliament had pressed the central bank to divulge details about the land acquisition for the new headquarters, consultants, project managers, financing arrangement, project cost, scope of work, bill of quantities, and start and completion dates. The minority also demanded the resignation of the bank's governor and deputies and garnered support from financial sector players and leaders like the Domaine, who called for the project suspension.
Those who have led this reckless and criminal conduct unleash economic hardship and financial distress on the suffering people of Ghana must be held accountable on this particular action. In fact, impunity of the highest order can no longer be tolerated by the suffering masses of Ghanaians. We must not allow this dangerous precedent to be set for future leaders. In this regard, we in the NDC call for the resignation, immediate resignation of the governor of the central bank and his deputies within 21 days from today. We are resolved to embark on popular action to occupy the central bank and drive out the team of inept, callous, and criminally minded mismanagers of our finances to save the Bank of Ghana.
However, the Bank of Ghana held a dedicated press conference to address the ongoing controversies. Governor Dr. Ernest Addison, recognizing concerns, provided context to the project, terming it as a national security matter.
I will provide you with a brief history of how this has evolved over the years. The Bank of Ghana, as far back as the 1990s, began the search for a suitable and secured land for a head office. In 2012, the bank was allocated an unnumbered 5.19-acre land at Accra Central by the Lands Commission, which also had issues. The bank did not have access to the land, since the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration refused to give the bank vacant possession on the grounds that they had never agreed to give up ownership of the land. The bank continued to search for suitable land. More recently, in 2018, the bank approached the State Insurance Corporation to acquire its vacant land at Ridge, near the Ridge Hospital. The government issued an executive instrument to allow the Bank of Ghana acquire that land, and SIC was duly compensated.
While assuring compliance with international standards befitting a central bank, Governor Dr. Ernest Addison revealed that the new headquarters would house critical facilities like data centers, currency processing units, vault, and sensitive installations. Although he did not specify the exact cost, he mentioned that funding had been secured from the bank's profit since 2019. He emphasized that the decision to construct the new head office predates the significant impairment the bank recorded in 2022.
The decision to commence construction was taken as far back as 2019, when the bank generated profits. Appropriations for the head office were made each year from profits made in 2019, 2020, and 2021. The project has therefore been going on for over 3 years. The DBEP only took place in January 2023. If we were to be taking the decision today, building a legacy head office would not have been a priority. However, this is a project that has been running for 3 years and about 50% complete. The bank is fully aware of its responsibilities to ensure that the costs do not escalate beyond reasonable levels, and that many of the original design processing center, ICT equipment, boxes provided for future use to manage costs.
In response, the minority in Parliament has planned a demonstration against the bank's governor and deputies seeking transparency and adherence to the budget. The bank authorities assured that they will maintain transparency and stay within the budget.
The bank then began to plan the building of its new head office, taking into consideration the need to ensure that the building meets all the requirements of a modern central bank of international standards, similar to central bank head office buildings in Abuja and Dakar, and includes provision for data centers, currency processing centers, vaults, and other sensitive installations. It is not just a simple, ordinary building. Let me re-emphasize that the bank followed all the necessary public procurement processes in this endeavor. No procurement laws were broken.
So you can visit citynewsroom.com. You find there all what you need to know about the new project, that is the new headquarters of the Bank of Ghana. The project is currently ongoing, just opposite leader in Parliament, Dr. Kisela Tuforsin, in a press conference held on August 8, made mention of the fact that the Bank of Ghana is incurring some 250 million USD for this particular project. But you were the presser yesterday, and the BOG boss, that is the governor, has stated that it's very important that such a building is being put up, looking at the structural integrity that was conducted and all that, looking at the fact that it cannot stand the test of time, the trauma and all that. What more did you get out of the presser?
Well, Philip, from the point that the minority in parliament or the opposition National Democratic Congress was actually asking for better and further particulars of this particular project, you realize that the Bank of Ghana issued a statement trying to, put the whole issue in proper context. And it appears if you read what the Bank of Ghana has put out there, perhaps you would appreciate the position from which the central bank is coming. For one, the central bank makes the point that it did not begin, the construction of the headquarters just 2 or 3 years ago when, issues of the economy was at the fore. But this particular construction goes as far back as in 1990 when they began a search for, a site for the construction of, a new headquarters. But between 1990 down the line, they realized that they were struggling. 2012 thereabouts, the search intensified when the board of directors of the bank actually realized that the structural integrity of the building that currently houses the central bank is not fit for purpose. The building is not fit for purpose. So they got a land around Ridge, and then construction began. And the Bank of Ghana boss actually admits that if the need for the construction was actually happening now, it wouldn't have been a priority because of the kind of challenges they are facing as a central bank. But funding for this particular project has actually been, released based on the fact that they made huge profits in 2019. So that is where the funding is coming from. I think the only disservice that the Bank of Ghana is doing as far as this controversy is concerned is the fact that it has not put, a specific cost as to how much the Bank of Ghana is using for this particular project. If you read a statement from the Bank of Ghana, the only time the central bank mentions an amount was when the Public Procurement Authority revised the cost of the project from $100 million to $81 million. And the bank says that that was not without any justification.
Okay.
And so that is the only time the central bank mentions a figure as to how much this project is going to cost. And so they have not provided explanations to the variation cost that the minority is alleging, which has actually increased procurement, which is they said they use single actual the sum has not been bloated. Why is the minority saying that you are spending 250 million? Well, the consensus really is that it is not appropriate for the Bank of Ghana to go on with the construction at the time they've incurred loss. But the bank says that no, this time around the project is about 50% complete, and it is looking forward to hosting the West Africa Institute of Central Banks and all that. And it is not just a building, as the central bank governor wants to put it. He outlined some of the components of the project, saying that, and even says that some of the cost projects or the project has been put on hold, and then they are looking at grey boxes for the interim. So I think if the Bank of Ghana is minded to settle the dust and also ensure that everyone is clear, they should just provide us with the exact cost this particular project is going to cost, and that is for me.
That will settle the issue.
Settle the issue, yes. And then we'll see where they might, because they've already threatened that they are going to hold a demonstration against the Bank of Ghana.
When they held a press conference on August 8th, they said that the minority or the NDC is giving the Bank of Ghana, that's the governor, some 21 days to leave office. As we speak now, it's some 7 days more left for the 21 days to elapse. But we hope to see what the NDC or the minority is going to do concerning this particular issue. And like Nilate stated, the Bank of Ghana hasn't brought out any figure yet, but we are hoping that in the coming days there will be a figure quoted for the particular building that is being put up as the new headquarters of the Bank of Ghana. Away from this story, let's bring you some more stories. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has ordered the removal of Goro Boys following UN corruption study. Let's bring you that insight.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has directed the Lands Commission to eliminate the presence of intermediaries, commonly known as Goro Boys, from its operations. Now, this directive follows a 2021 study by the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, UNODC, which identified the Lands Commission as one of Ghana's most corrupt institutions. We have more in this report.
In 2021, the Lands Commission secured the unfortunate fourth position in terms of corruption with an average bribe size of 1,699 cedis. Topping the list were the Police Service, GRA Customs Officers, and the Ghana Immigration Service. These rankings have ignited calls for comprehensive reforms within these institutions. Notably, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs took decisive action by dismissing Passport Office officers suspected of participating in extortion activities due to extended tenures. In light of these developments, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has unveiled its strategy to combat corruption within the Lands Commission. A focused initiative has been assigned to the Commission centered on eliminating intermediaries, commonly referred to as Goro Boys.
Yes, we were all aware of the Goro Boys and the Goro people within the system. So we as a ministry, we are trying to find out, and we are taxing the Lands Commission to get rid of those Goro Boys and the Goro people in the system. These Goro people, they cannot work in isolation. They can only work only with the connivance and assistance of the personnel within the system of Lands Commission. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has taken the initiative, the bold initiative, to start working to get rid of the recalcitrant and the bad nuts within their system. Likewise, we at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, we are also going to follow the example, and we will also be up and doing to ensure that we also rid the system of our bad nuts.
Surveyor James Dapson, the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, responded to these concerns by highlighting the Commission's proactive approach. Among the measures in motion, the Commission is prioritizing the digitalization of its operations as a fundamental strategy to root out corruption.
This is a major challenge on our hands. I am not. It is, let me say, an exception for a document that passes through the hands of a Goro Boy to go ahead of documents that go through the system. Some of them even take the money and then they vanish. The document will be lying there. We are looking for the person to go for an inspection and nobody shows up. We have identified that once we embark on this technological drive, we will reduce the human interface. Even our own staff will have very little to do with the general public. Everything will be done in the back office. You go to the client service access unit, submit your document, they vet it right there, and then everything is done in the back office. This is in fact, indeed, this is what we are doing currently. Everybody has to go through the CSAU, and then we'll deal with it.
Furthermore, the Commission has raised concerns about the substandard working conditions faced by its employees, particularly its legal team, who are expected to represent the Commission in court cases.
The cases that we have, it's not possible for the Commission to be in court anytime the cases are called. Our staff, our legal staff, very small. It is the only aspect of our work that when we engage lawyers, sometimes they don't even turn up. They don't turn up. They look at the conditions of service and say, no, probably it's better to do only bail work at the court, at the district court. So we don't have enough lawyers. That's as frank as it can be. Those who are with us are overburdened. So we are working to see how we can improve not only the remuneration in terms of conditions of the lawyers alone, but over all the staff of the Commission. Our working conditions are not very good in that regard.
So the removal of the Guru boys, that is the intermediaries, at the passport office, you see them. You go to Lands Commission, you see them. You even go to some places, I think with the NIA, Ghana card, you see them. Almost every place that some service has to be rendered by a government official or at the government agencies, you definitely see them. Do you think that we've relaxed for a very long time to see this Goro boys really in the system, and now that some studies are coming out, we are now eager to get these people removed?
I mean, Philip, it's laughable to say the least if we sit down here in our country for, international organizations to conduct some studies for us to come to the realization that we have serious problems with some aspects of our economy. I mean, recently you heard the Foreign Affairs Minister lamenting about these same, intermediaries at the passport office charging exorbitant fees for people to get, their passports. Today, the UN report actually is also painting a picture that the Lands Commission is one of the, most corrupt institutions in the country. And for me, you realize that it is indeed one of the most corrupt institutions in the country because of the fact that a lot of people are finding various means, dubious means to, get land acquired and even register. And because the process is not transparent, it's opaque, it's poorly coordinated, people are finding loopholes to, due people and all that. And for me, I do not know for how long we'll be talking about, the issue of technology in addressing some of these things. It appears sometimes you are not serious about some of the things we want to do as a country, and that for me is a big problem, because even if you go to our court, you realize that land litigation issues is one of the, topical issues that the courts are dealing with. And so until such a time we ensure that there is transparency, we eliminate some of these things.
Something that can be worked on within 15 minutes. Will take like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for it to be done. And you know that you can rely on this Goro boy to get a thing done within 30 minutes. Someone will go through the Goro boy because he knows that such a thing can be done easily. But if you are removing these Goro boys, are you really changing the narrative, how people are working in the various institutions? Because you are going to search for the owner of a particular land. It takes forever. You go in there to register a land. It takes forever. You are going there to get information about whatever parcel of land you've acquired. It takes forever. And you are removing these Guru boys, and at the end of the day, the situation still persists by not getting services rendered to you early.
Well, but why do you think we have these Guru boys? It's because the process is cumbersome. And so if they are being eliminated, they also suggest that the process should be made more seamless for it to be easier for people to get their lands registered. And Philip, for me, if it even goes beyond, the challenges at the Lands Commission, but this particular issue is a recipe for, conflicts. The issue of, land guard and land litigation and all that. And so it presupposes that the ineffective land acquisition registration process in the country is a major source of concern, and it has serious implications if it is not dealt with properly. And so for me, I think the technology conversation should be broadened, it should be had. Mind you, the deputy minister of lands who actually spoke admitted that these Guru boys do not work in isolation, which also suggests that they do not unilaterally sell the land. They have people in there that are encouraging or assisting them to, ensure that they are able to carry out their activities. And I also feel that if people stop paying bribes to these persons, perhaps maybe it will end some of the challenges that we are facing in the country with regards to land acquisition, because people are being emboldened by the day. People say that, well, all you need is your money, just get somebody, pay. And sometimes even the lands that are actually registered legally, there are people who go in there, manipulate, tamper with their records, and then people's lands are changed. The ownership is actually changed without their knowledge. So you think that you ensure get to know later on.
The minister went there, the secretary minister, Sherry Ayoko Botwe went there to state her grievances about what is really going on there. And now the Lands and Natural Resources is also following suit. So let's move away from this story. And the Natural Food Buffer Stock Company is making plans to settle outstanding debt of 15% that were made in 2022, the suppliers weren't paid. Let's bring you that insight.
The National Food Buffer Stock Company says it is making plans to settle the outstanding 15% arrears for supplies made for 2022. This comes at a time the company has been struggling to settle debts owed over 200 food suppliers. The suppliers at a point picketed at the premises of the Buffer Stock Company in protest of the situation. Briefing journalists at the midst of the press engagement, the Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Wahab Hanan, said about 2.6 million cedis has so far been paid to suppliers between 2017 and 2022.
The press engagement for the National Food Buffer Stock Company aimed to provide an avenue for addressing the public regarding the myriad of challenges affecting its operations. A significant concern is the outstanding payments to the over 200 food suppliers, resulting in arrears. The company acknowledges a debt of approximately 3 million Ghana cedis to contractors for the academic years of 2022 and 2023.
These are payments of businesses done between us and our licensed suppliers. And it originates from the year 2017 to 2022. So out of that, how much we owe suppliers is what is currently happening in the system that has even resulted in the picketing. But right after the picketing, government has released money for the arrears of the suppliers, and we have paid them 85% of how much we owe them for the year 2022. We don't owe suppliers any year, any arrears, but 2022, and then what is happening currently, the suppliers that is ongoing now in 2023. So 2.7 billion has been paid so far, and what is left now to pay suppliers is less than 30 million Ghana cedis.
In addition, the CEO of the Buffer Stock highlighted the organization's commitment to ensuring food security. To this end, an additional 60 warehouses have been put in operation.
Of course, construction sometimes comes with some challenges and delays, and you may not be able to get it how you want it. Thank God, out of the 80, 60 is ready for use, and the rest of the 20 is in various stages of construction, some completion. Some are from 90%, some are even completed. Or what is left is the equipment to be installed, because it comes with dryers and then a generator, standby generator. So without some of these things, you cannot commission the warehouses. But of course, the Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture has taken it upon himself. He has gotten the report. He's inviting the various contractors and then to find out what is causing the delay so that he can assist them for them to complete it. And apart from that, we need more than 80,000 with the kind of vision we have and what we want to do for the good people of Ghana. We need 80,000 metric tons is woefully inadequate. We are talking about millions. We have not just warehouses, but silos for long-term storage.
It was also announced that the disbursement of the second installment of funds is scheduled to commence on Tuesday, August 22.
We won the 2020 elections, and the new board of directors was sworn in. The first task was to, come up with a 5 years strategic plan. We went on a retreat with various stakeholders from Parliament and from other, Agri Select Committee and Cocoa Affairs. The strategic plan is in the stage of, fine-tuning. And of course, we also want to launch it together with PFG Phase 2. Like I said, it is in this stage of fine-tuning. We are almost done with it. The consultants have done their work. We have distributed copies to stakeholders for them to look at it and then have their final inputs. Then we can finalize it and then launch it.
So weeks ago, these suppliers went to the Buffer Stock Company Limited premises to demand what is owed them. They were there for 3 days continuous before they had some intervention coming from the Minister for Agriculture, Brian Champon, stating that, well, government is going to pay them. Fast forward, 85% has been paid, 15% left more to be paid for the 2022 arrears before they'll move to the 2023 arrears. But I think they should take their word for it for the payment.
Well, if you look at how this story also unfolded weeks ago, and today we are learning that about 85% of the arrears for 2022 alone has actually been settled. I think it's significant progress. Yeah. And so we want to say that the Buffer Stock Company Limited will make good its promise and also settle the remaining 15% for, these suppliers as it strategizes to make payment for, the year 2023.
And I'm sure that if that is delaying, the food suppliers will definitely come out to state their displeasure about what is happening. You are still watching CNR Extra here on CCTV. Still to come. Chief of Staff Frema Osayopare cleared to vote in MPP Special Delegate Congress amidst eligibility debate. And stay with us with back of my stories.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This is Ghana Exhibition 2023. City TV and City FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This is Ghana exhibition is powered by City TV and City FM and proudly sponsored by
MTN Momo, Nano Solutions, Pan-African Savings and Loans, and SMV Ghana.
Welcome back. This is CNR Extra here on City TV. Let's bring you some more stories. And investigators have turned to telecom data in alleged bullion van robbery case involving military officers and some civilians. Let's bring you that insight.
Investigators are currently seeking to utilize data provided by telecom companies to access phone records, aiming to establish the involvement of 3 military officers and 3 civilians in an alleged attempt to rob a bullion van belonging to mining company. On Monday, the court adjourned the hearing on the substantive matter to 26 September 2023 to allow the police ample time to establish the complicity or otherwise of the suspects. Now, City News Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opon-Marvel has more.
The 6 accused persons, comprising of 3 military officers and 3 civilians, are facing charges of conspiracy to commit robbery and attempted robbery. As outlined in the charge sheet, the driver of Golden Team Mining Resources Limited, a mining company, is accused of conspiring with 5 others to carry out a robbery on a bullion van that transports gold from the company's location in Tridium in the Hava region to Kumasi. Upon receiving information about a planned robbery, the mining company promptly notified both the Ashanti Regional Police Intelligence Department and the Hava Regional Police Command. Subsequently, the driver was apprehended, and further investigations led to the arrest of the other 5 individuals suspected to be part of the operation. So far, all accused persons have been granted bail and have met the required conditions. During the court session at Tasmansia Circuit Court in Kumasi on Monday, the investigators informed the court of an ex parte motion they have filed. This motion is intended to grant them access to the phone records of the suspects, aiding in establishing their involvement in the case. The ex parte motion is scheduled for hearing on Tuesday, August 22. Meanwhile, the main case has been adjourned to September 26, 2023, allowing for further investigations into the matter. Following the court proceedings, Ivan Samankwa, the legal representative for Golden T Mining Resources Limited, spoke to journalists.
The prosecution indicated to the court that they have filed motion ex parte to the telcos, asking them to make some provisions or disclosures involving the telephone numbers of the accused persons. So the court adjourned the said motion to 22nd August, that is tomorrow. But the substantive matter, that is a criminal matter involving WO2 Francis Katamani and the 5 others, has been adjourned to 26th of September 2023. The case involves so many phone technicalities and technology which the accused person, the suspected accused person, used in trying to execute the agenda. So if for the police to be able to or the prosecution to be able to establish the veracity or otherwise of their charges, they have to go through those things. And as a lawyer for the complainant, or a lawyer who is watching brief for the complainant, we are happy the step the police are taking, the prosecution is taking in arriving at the veracity or otherwise of the complaints against the accused persons. We believe that at the end of the day, the case will be able to establish the truth in this whole matter.
And your clients are insisting that based on what they know, either there was some kind of conspiracy to rob the billion van. Is that the case?
Well, of course, we wouldn't have made that complaint to the police in the first place. And the police, per their intelligence, were able to also unravel some leads to it. We wouldn't be able to disclose it to the media at this point.
Investigators are seeking to rely on information from the telecom companies to establish the kind of conversation that ensued between the suspects. And as such, the court has granted them enough time to conduct further investigations into the issue, and the matter has been adjourned to 26 September 2023.
So this is very important that the telcos also comply to whatever the court is requesting, especially when in this day and age we've had issues with the bullion van robbery and all that. But this is not with cash. This is with some gold that is supposed to be transported from that particular mining site to the Golden Team Mining Company in Ahafo-Figim.
I mean, when there are attacks on, bullion vans, one of the questions we tend to ask ourselves is the appropriateness of the vehicle transporting whatever, it's carrying. And so if this time around the vehicle in question is the appropriate one, and it appears that the person's mandated by law to provide, some form of security and safety are the ones being accused of, attacking in this particular robbery incident, it really raises a lot of questions about the integrity of some of the men in uniform. And if you look at this particular story, you realize that it took the arrest of the driver of that particular bullion van for him to reveal the identities of, the other culprits in this regard. So I just want to say that I hope that the investigations will not be compromised, looking at the fact that the court has actually resorted to, information from the telecommunication companies to ensure that the investigations are carried out through and through, to ensure that if these soldiers are actually complicit in this attempted robbery, they are made to face the full rigors of the law, because it's quite worrying to hear that security agents are actually perpetrating this form of, heinous crime, trying to make away with a shipment of gold belonging to a gold firm somewhere in the Ahafo region.
Rightly so, and we would make sure that we follow this story keenly, especially when the case has been adjourned to September 26. Away from this story, and the Chief of Staff, Frema Osei-Opare, she has been cleared to vote in the NPP Special Delegates Congress that will be happening on the 26th.
The Presidential Elections Committee of the MPP has confirmed the eligibility of the Chief of Staff, Frema Osei-Opare, to vote in the party's Special Delegates Congress on August 26th. Now, Alan Chairman's campaign raised concerns over the Chief of Staff's qualification as a delegate. However, the party says Frema Osei-Opare qualifies to vote, citing a role as patron of the Executive Committee. This report has more.
The New Patriotic Party is set to conduct its Special Delegates Congress on August 26. The Special Congress is intended to whittle down to 10 flag-bearer hopefuls contesting to lead the party into the 2024 general elections. As part of the processes towards the August 26 polls, the party made available the electoral register containing approximately 900 delegates list to the candidates. Following this, the Alan Chairman campaign, in a letter to the party, expressed reservations about the eligibility of Chief of Staff Frema Osei-Opare as a delegate. But at a press conference in Accra, the Presidential Elections Committee confirmed the qualification of the Chief of Staff.
To uphold the highest standards of transparency, we distributed the Provisional Voters Register to aspirants and encouraged a comprehensive review to identify and report any discrepancies. Subsequently, we received valuable feedback from the aspirants regarding instances of omission, duplications, and related concerns. We are pleased to confirm that all such concerns have been diligently rectified. An issue was raised about the status of Honorable Frema Osei-Opare. Per the records of the party, Honorable Frema Osei-Opare is a member of the National Executive Committee by the virtue of her being a representative of the patrons at the National Executive Committee. And this gives her the right to vote.
The NPP has also assured its preparedness to conduct the Special Delegates Congress.
Voting will take place from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Delegates may be required to present their membership ID, that is the party membership ID, national voters ID, the Ghana card for identification purposes. Ballots shall be counted and the results announced immediately after the polls in the full glare of the public. Collation of results. Results will be collated at the Electoral Commission headquarters in Accra, with the participation of aspirants and all their representatives. And the Electoral Commission will officially declare the results at the MPP headquarters, Asalam Down.
The issue of vote buying has bedeviled Ghana's democracy in recent years. There's been reports of voters taking photographs of ballot papers as evidence to collect money from candidates. To prevent this, the NPP has banned mobile devices close to the voting booth.
So, and that is it. On the 26th of August, we'll get to know the flag bearer hopefuls, the 5 in the race. This is going to be a very interesting one. But we know that the Chief of Staff has been cleared. We understand in the album or the register, she was placed at the place where she couldn't vote for the Special Delegate Congress. But now it's been rectified.
Yeah, exactly so. And if this rectification did not actually come in, it would have raised doubts about the credibility of the poll. So I think the party election committee has actually tried to resolve this issue amicably, following concerns raised by the camp of former Trade Minister Alan Chairman, that the Chief of Staff Frema Osei-Opare was not eligible to vote in the upcoming Special Delegate Congress, citing some inconsistencies in the register and also some unconstitutional names that they had cited. And so they raised those concerns for the party to address them, and actually it has happened. And so what we do know now is that the Chief of Staff, having been the patron of the National Executive Committee of the party, has the right to participate in the upcoming polls.
Rightly so. You're still watching CNR Extra here on City TV. Still to come. Ghana Football Association presidential candidates Keto Kriku and George Freeway undergo vetting ahead of September 27 elections in Tamale. I'll stay with us. We'll be back with more stories.
City TV is live on DSTV. Find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD Plus boxes. City TV, it's your world.
Welcome back. This is CNR Extra here on City TV. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comment via WhatsApp line 0204447033. We are also streaming live on City Newsroom on YouTube. Let's bring you some more stories. And the Ghana Football Association presidential candidates Keto Kriku and George Free, they are undergoing vetting ahead of the September 27 elections in Tamale.
Well, the Ghana Football Association President Keto Kriku and his challenger George Afriye faced the vetting committee on Monday ahead of the elections on September 27 in Tamale. The two football administrators are seeking the mandate of delegates to lead Ghana football for the next 4 years. City News' Evans Ofochumanso was at the Alisa Hotel where the vetting happened and filed this report.
Football administrators faced the Ghana Football Association.
You signed the forms, whether you have met the statutory requirements on the form, i.e. the member who proposed you and the 5 required members who are needed to support your application. And then obviously you have to go through the integrity session, whether you've made your tax returns. So if you don't pay your tax, you are in trouble. And whether you've not made any false declaration whatsoever in relation to this opening. So I think that it was smooth. I'm very confident that given